click on Digital Teacher Resources. So now it's going to work just like it did from ClassLink. And we are going to go to Back to School. And we are going to scroll down to Quizzes and Rubrics. Now, if you guys want to click on this and look at it, you can. I'm going to open it. We are going to, this is the agenda we're going to follow today. Now, I know this looks like it's really long and it's a ton of stuff to follow, but what this is we are going to, all of these blue links are links to the Canvas guides. So anything that you might forget after we leave today, because I know that it's Friday afternoon and your brains are just about full of Canvas stuff, and I know that. So even though we do it here today, you might forget it when you go back to do it in your classroom next week, or when you make a quiz next month, you might have forgotten how to do it. So you can come back here, this will be in here, and you can just click on, let's say I've forgotten how to make a multiple answer quiz question. I can just click on that and it shows me how to do it. I can just click on any of these things. If I want to look at just all the instructor guides, I can just click on there. It's going to take me to the instructor guides. The one thing is you have to be in Canvas, but we're already in Canvas, so you're there. So if I have any questions on any of these things, I'm going to open this in a new window, new tab, but it just takes me right to, this is how I create a multiple choice question. If you guys have not used the guides, they are right there. That's not the one I want to go to. They are right here in the help. The guides are very, very helpful to anything that you might want. Okay, so this is the agenda we're going to follow today. We are going to cover a lot of things, but we may not. It looks more daunting than it really is. I just want to let you know that. So we're going to start with quizzes. And again, I think I forgot to introduce myself, even though right at the top of my agenda it says introductions. My name is Michelle Adrian, and I am the Digital Integration Specialist for Storm Grove, Gifford, IRA, OME, and Citrus. And in the chat we have Becky. She is here from, she's VBHS and lots of others. So, so we are both here to answer your questions. So let's go ahead and get started with quizzes. So the first thing that I want to talk about is the difference between an assignment and a quiz. So in Canvas, assignments are things that you create where kids would turn in something. Something like an essay that they're going to write, or you can use a text box and they're going to turn in something to you. They're going to create something and they're going to turn it into you. So maybe they created something in PowerPoint. They're going to turn in a PowerPoint. They're going to turn in some sort of project to you. It could be a digital project. It can be a website that they've done, anything like that. They're going to turn something into you. That's an assignment. A quiz is something where they're answering questions. It doesn't mean that you have to count it in your grade book as a quiz. A lot of people haven't used quizzes because they say, well, it's like a worksheet. It's an assignment. It's not a quiz. Quiz is just the way that Canvas uses questions. So if it's something with a question, that's a quiz. Doesn't mean when you put it into focus, you have to put it in as a quiz grade. It can be an assignment grade. So if it's a worksheet that you would give in class, if it's just answering questions, if it's a math practice, anything like that, it can be created as a quiz. If it's the comprehension questions at the end of a story, that can be a quiz. It doesn't mean that you have to count it as a quiz in your grade book. So just get that understanding there. It doesn't have to be a quiz. It's just anything with questions is a quiz. So on your agenda, there is a short 3 or 4 minute video that explains an assignment and a quiz. So if you wanted to watch those, you can do that. All right, so we're going to start off. There are 2 types of quizzes in Canvas. There is classic quizzes and there is new quizzes. New quizzes came out about 2 years ago. It was very, very glitchy at first. They have worked out a lot of those glitches. And a lot of people will ask, what is better? There's no worse or better. A lot of it is just preference. So they look a lot different. We're going to take a look at both of them today. You're going to take a quiz as a student from a new quiz and a classic quiz, and we're going to look at the differences. On your agenda, put it here. On your agenda right here, there is a feature comparison. We're not going to look at that now, but if you wanted to know all the differences and all of the features of classic quizzes versus new quizzes, it's right here. So if you wanted to click on that and look at the features, they're there. So you can do that. So what we're going to do right now is you guys are going to be students. What we're going to do is we're going to look at quizzes first from the student side and then from the teacher side. So you are going to take a classic quiz as a student. So back on that main page, that is not that. It's not that either. Where did my, there we go. There is a classic quizzes example quiz. I want you to click on that. Classic quizzes example quiz. You guys can go ahead and click on that. Yours is going to look a little bit different because you're a student. This is what the teacher sees. You guys are going to see the exact actual quiz. So I'm going to give you guys, now, there is a reading passage in here. I do not want you to read the story. I want you to just randomly guess at those questions that are about the story. I just put a story in there so you can see what it would look like if you put a reading passage in. Do not read the story. I'm only giving you 4 minutes to take this quiz, and that's really probably too long. So I want you to take the quiz. I do want you to get some of the questions wrong because we want to look, and when you're randomly guessing, you're going to get some questions wrong. But I want you to, we want to look at some of the data that's going to come from the quiz. So if everybody got everything right, we wouldn't be able to look at data. So go ahead and just kind of randomly guess at the questions. All right. So I'm going to give you guys 4 minutes to go ahead and take that quiz. So please take that classics quiz right now. All right. Go ahead and take that now. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for 1 second. as some of you guys are already doing, go ahead and put a thumbs up or a done or something in the chat when you're finished with the test. Kristen, if you can't access the quiz, Becky, can you add her in? She's probably just not a student. Yeah.
Can you go through, there you go. Can you show them one more time where you're at, how you got to that point, to the classic quizzes?
Okay, it's right here. The classic quiz right here. This is the classic.
Can you show them the previous part though?
To join the class?
Go back one page.
One page, yep.
Thank you.
So you're in Back to School 2020. You're going to click Canvas, Quizzes, and Rubrics. And then you're going to click Classic Quizzes Example. And I'll give you guys about another 30 seconds because just randomly pick questions, answers. All right, I'm going to give you another minute to finish the quiz because some of you guys did not have access. And some of you that are there can look. This is showing time elapsed is 7 minutes. So this is showing how much time is since the first person started the quiz, how much time. So, it doesn't really matter for today, but this can let you know how long you've been giving the quiz if that's important to you. So that is one option that will show that how much time has elapsed. And that shows for the kids too. If you time the quiz, because sometimes you might want to time the quiz to get kids ready for timed quiz practice, here is one of the things that will show them how much time. All right, I'm going to go ahead. Those of you guys that are still taking the quiz, I'm going to go ahead and get started talking about the quiz, but as soon as you're finished, just join us. And you can just randomly answer questions. So what we did with this quiz is to make I tried to make all of the different types of questions that you can have within Canvas. So this first is an obviously multiple choice question. Then we've got a true false question. This is a fill in the blank question. And this is fill in multiple blanks. One of the things I don't always recommend to give in fill in the blank questions is it has to be spelled correctly. That's not the best way to give, especially spelling isn't a lot of kids' strong suit. So if you do a fill in the blank question and they do not spell it correctly, it will be marked wrong. You can give alternate spellings that you would mark correctly, but I don't think that you can probably figure out the way that everybody's going to spell it. So if you want them to fill in a blank, I would suggest doing an essay question, and then they can then you have to go back and grade it. This was a matching. This is a drop down. This is what's called a text filler. There's no question here. We just added this here. And then this was these are just multiple choice that go with that. This one was a math question. And then this is a formula question. So each one of you got a different question for this one. This was an x plus y in the question, and then each one of you got a different one, and we'll show that to you in a second. And then you've got the essay question. So what I want to show you now, I'm in the preview mode of this. I have to get out of preview. I'm going to go back. So once kids have taken that, you can go into the SpeedGrader is how you would grade it. So I'm going to go into SpeedGrader. And then right here in the upper right-hand corner shows me, I can click on the arrow, and it shows me anyone who is grayed out has not actually taken the test yet. So this is all of the kids that have not taken it, and then if they have taken it, it is bold, and I can click on it, and it has an orange dot. So we have 400, 500 students in this course, so of course not everybody has taken it. So here, this will show me everybody what the correct answer was, and then what the correct answer should have been.
Michelle?
And then, yes.
I'm sorry to stop you, but can you go ahead and make your screen a little bit bigger so we can see the questions a little bit better?
Sure.
Thank you.
Let me zoom in, I guess, here. Better? Is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. So this will show all of these. And then this is where you have to decide, you have to go back in and grade it. So right here, how could you use it? I can look and decide, does this would be a great practice types and questions for unit assessments. Okay, good. I assign them 1 point. I click update scores. I could put a comment in here if I wanted to. I could even record a video of myself. So this is a great way, especially during distance learning, to communicate with your kids. You can comment on their assignments with a video. You can attach something if you wanted to. So, but I'm just going to click submit. One other thing with the SpeedGrader, if you don't want to look at all of your classes at once, if you click right here, it says showing all sections. This is looking, so if I only wanted to see my period 1, period 2, period 3, I could click on that. Now I only added 1 person to each of those, so, and they're not even in this class, but I could look at just a specific period, so I'm not looking at all of them at once. So I want to look at all, show all sections. That's going to show everybody. So then I can click, so then I can just click through each one because I have to grade the last one of everybody's. So I can click through the last one and I can just go through. But if I don't want to go through, I can just look for somebody who actually took it and I can go through that. So that is SpeedGrader. Does anyone have any questions about SpeedGrader? Okay, I'll take that as no. All right, so
no specific questions yet. You're good.
Okay, so I am going to go back. No, I'm not going to do that way. Let's close it. Okay, the other thing I want to take a look at is quiz statistics. This is a really great option that they have here. Is if I click quiz statistics. So 50 people took the quiz. 84% got this question right. So this is a really great way that you can go through and see how your class did. So we're going to go through and we can look and see, and I can see, well, if I have a question that, only 24% of my class got correct, either I'm not teaching it very well or it was a very bad question. So I have to go back and see, was the question written badly? Or is that something that I just really need to go over? I've seen a lot of teachers just go in here, click on quiz statistics, and then go through the questions and talk about, okay, why did you guys pick this question? What did you think the answer was? So what did, so I'm going to go through these. Obviously, you guys didn't read it, so we're not going to talk about that. But, and we just randomly picked questions. But, okay, here's one that 86% of you got correctly. So, obviously, we're not going to have to go over that. If 80 to 90% of your kids are getting it right, you're good. You've got that. You guys have that. So, look, 100% of you got this simple x plus y right. 98%. Oh, actually, I only graded one. So you can go through, you can look at all of these statistics, and you can ask, you can go through that. And let's see, this downloads, this gets really, really specific when you click on item analysis. You have to, some of these reports, you almost have to be a statistician to look at, but some of you that are really, you math teachers that are really into numbers, it downloaded an Excel file here. And when I open that Excel file, it tells me step by step here's all kinds of different quiz standard deviations and all that kind of stuff. So if you're really into that, you can look at that. And you can go to individual student analysis. So if you have, a meeting with the parent, you can, get down these quizzes and you can look and you can talk with the parents. You can even separate it by section, so I can look and see how did my period 1 do compared to my period 3 and period 4 and all that sort of thing. So maybe we need to hit this harder with this group or other groups. All right, so that's what you can do with once the quiz is finished. All right, so I see some questions about how do we create it. That's next. All right, does anybody have any questions about the SpeedGrader or the statistics before we go on? All right, so how do we create it? Good. All right, so with that, you guys are going to want to go to your dashboard, and you're going to want to be in by this point, I think most of you guys have created some sort of sandbox course. So you want to go into a sandbox course. If you have not created a sandbox course yet, which I shouldn't have clicked on that yet, let me go back in. So if you have not yet created a sandbox course, you need to go to the right side and click Start a New Course. A sandbox course is just one that we play in because we don't have any students in there. We can fool around, we can mess around, we can make mistakes. It doesn't matter. It's where we play so that we can learn. So I'm going to do Sandbox Summer 2020 and just click Create Course. That's all I need to do. I don't have to worry about whether it's public, whether it's published, whether it's anything. It's going to open right up, and then I can work in it. All right? So I'm going to close that one, though, and you work in this one. So here is the one that a lot of you guys have created, you've been working in. So you should have a sandbox course. So the first thing that we're going to do is when we create a quiz is you're going to have to set the options for your quiz. So to do that, we're going to start by clicking Quizzes, and we're going to add a quiz. So we're going to click up here in the corner and click Add Quiz. Now this is where you have the choice of classic quizzes or new quizzes. Right now we're doing classic. So click Classic and then Submit. And here is where we put in all the information about our quiz. So we're just going to call it BTS Practice.
Michelle?
Yes.
Can we just get a temperature check to make sure everybody is at the point of
Sure.
where you are right now with their sandbox? I'm putting directions in the chat for you.
Thank you. Go ahead and put a thumbs up if you are in your sandbox course. Allison, scroll down. All right, so I did see one I am lost there. So Lisa, we've got us, do you have a sandbox course?
Everything I had in my courses, over 20 courses, is gone now, and all that's in there is the digital teacher resources.
I'll go ahead and help her out.
Yeah,
Michelle.
she's probably, it just probably,
I'm frantically a mess, frantically.
I bet it's just her favorites.
I relog back into Canvas, and this is what I'm seeing. Nothing's there except DTI.
I think it's just your favorites. She can go back and look at your favorites. Becky's going to go in there right now and look. It's probably just with your favorites. If you go to courses and then it's your courses. All right. So we've got somebody's missed a step. So let's go back. We're in our dashboard and we've picked our sandbox course, whatever you have named your sandbox course. You're going to open that. And all we have done so far is clicked quizzes on the left side. That's it so far. As long as you're in your Canvas course and you've clicked quizzes. That's it so far. Now we can just click Add Quiz and Classic Quizzes, and then click Submit. All right, so first thing you're going to do is name your quiz. You know, it's going to be, I'll just say it's Chapter 4 Comprehension Quiz, whatever you want to call it. You just give it any kind of name, all right? So Chapter 4 quiz, back to school, whatever. Just make up a name. So your quiz instructions. So this would be any other kind of quiz instructions that you would give on a paper quiz. So the same instructions you would give students on a paper quiz, then you are going to give them on your digital quiz. So take your time and do your best. Read each question carefully. Choose the right answer, then, or just period, click Submit when you are finished. All right, just very simple. You can put anything in here. This is a rich context editor. So if you have chosen, if you want to put a link in here, if you want to put pictures in here, anything that Becky did in that training the other day with the rich context editor, all those buttons are there. So you can put links, you can put anything you want in your directions, okay? There are different quiz types. This is a graded quiz. That's going to be your most used type. You could do a practice quiz, but that just means it doesn't go into your grade book. You can do surveys and then an ungraded survey. Graded is what is going to go into your grade book. So anytime you're going to do one of these things, you're probably going to want it to be graded or not. That's up to you. So graded quiz. Now, right now, you guys are going to uncheck sync to sys. We're going to work on that and we're going to get back to that, but right now we're not even going to worry about it. So uncheck sync to sys. Here is the choice shuffle answers. This will make it so that every kid will get the same answers but in a different order. So this kid sitting here is going to have A, B, C, D, and then the kid sitting next to them, their A, B, C, D are going to be in a different order. So this is a really nice feature to minimize cheating, and it also makes it so that you don't have to make sure that your answer choices are in any specific order. So shuffle answers is a really good one to have. If you want a time limit on your test, you could put that and put the time limit that you want. If you don't want a time limit, you uncheck that. Allow multiple attempts. Do you want to have how many, more than one attempt? So do I want to give them 2 attempts? Do I want to give them 3 attempts? That's up to you. Many teachers only want to allow 1 attempt for a quiz. But if you want to allow them to take the quiz twice or 3 times, you can do that. And if you do, what score do you want them to keep? Do you want them to keep the highest score? Do you want them to keep the latest score? Or do you want them to keep the average of the scores? Some teachers like to do average because if the kids know they get 2 tries, then they bomb the first one and then they know the questions so they can study and do better on the second one. So sometimes you might want to average them so they don't do that. So up to you how you want to do that. So I can give 2 attempts on the test. Or you can just, if you uncheck it, they only get 1. Let the students see their quiz responses when they're done. I had that checked. You guys all got to see your answers when you were finished. If you don't want them to see their answers, just uncheck it. If you do want them to see their answers, only after their last attempt. Show 1 question at a time. I know that's a popular ESE accommodation. If you want to show 1 question at a time, you can check that. Do you want to lock the questions after answering? Do you not want the kids to go back and look over that? I don't know many teachers that do that, but it's a possibility if you want to. Now we've got quiz restrictions, requiring an access code. Do we want to do that? I would say for distance learning that you probably do not want to require an access code, but a lot of teachers, especially in middle and high school, do require an access code because maybe in first period, they're going to get the answers and then take it or while they're not in your classroom so they can look up the answers. So if you require an access code, it's published, but they have to have the code to take it. If you do that, I would suggest not using the same code every time because then the kids are going to learn your code and know what it is. So you can change it. You can even go in here and change the password after every period. I know a lot of teachers do that so that the first period kid can't give the password to the 5th period kid and go and take the test. So you can change that every period. And then this last one is assign. Assign to, it's going to automatically go to everyone, or I can say maybe I just want my 1st and 3rd period to take this, or maybe I want specific children to take this. So if I take this away, I can say I want everyone. If you have course periods, they would be there. Course sections. I don't have course sections in this class though. Or I can just say specific students. So I can hold control and select specific students. So this is a nice way where you can do accommodations. If you have ESOL or ESE accommodations and you want to give a different test to that group of students, you can give a different test to them. So I'm just going to leave this with everyone. Why is there no due date on here? This is a quiz, right? Okay. Why is there no due date? That's weird. Usually there's a due date thing, but it's not there. That's strange. Okay, so then you're just going to go ahead and click Save. Oh, I didn't put a code in. So now I'm going to click Save again. All right, so here is my quiz. It doesn't have any questions in it yet, but we just set it up. All right, so now what I want you guys to do is you're in your sandbox course. You're going to click Quizzes, Add a Quiz, Classic Quizzes, Submit, and then you're going to make up your, I don't know why it didn't show up on that last one. Some reason it didn't have here's when I did assign the due date. I didn't talk about the due date. I just skipped over it. I was in another world or something. A due date. So the due dates, you should always put a due date in. Thank you. Always put a due date in. It's going away. There we go. Always put a due date in because all that's going to happen after that due date is that it's going to show up that the child turned it in late. They don't lose any grades. If you wanted to take points off for them being late, you have recourse to do that, but Canvas won't automatically do that. And remember, you have to you will move your grades from Canvas to Focus, but Canvas doesn't automatically take grade points off. It just says late. This available from and to, I very often tell people to leave that blank, because available from, you could put, if you wanted to work ahead, you could change the available from, but when you put an until date on it, what happens is if I change this date to August 21st, what's going to happen is on August 21st, 11:59, this quiz is going to shut down and nobody can take that quiz after that. Well, what if I have a kid that was sick and they come in after the 21st and they need to make up that quiz? It's very difficult to reopen a quiz that is closed. So I often suggest people to just leave this blank. You don't have to put a date in there. You don't even have to put a due date. You don't have to put an available from and an available until date. Remember, Canvas is used all the way through college. So if you're in college, when you're in college, that's due at midnight and you can't turn it in after that date. That's what that's for. It's for a drop dead, you can't turn it in after that date. And I think especially right now, we don't have any of those drop dead dates that you can't turn it in after. So I would suggest leaving the available from and available until open. Okay? So we are going to click on save. So I want you guys to go ahead and just create a quiz and put in all of your, why didn't it save my name? Put in your quiz dates. I mean, all of your information. We're not putting questions in yet, just all of the information.
I have a question, please.
Yes.
If I have already a set of quizzes, say multiple choice, it's already, I have it electronically. Can I paste those questions on that field here?
How were they created? Were they created with ExamView?
Well, some of them created by me, some of them I got them from Test Bank.
You can copy and paste them, but you can't import them.
I don't understand what, you can just copy paste.
You can copy paste, but there's no like import that's going to make it a quiz.
You do it in that spot here. You put it in that spot right there where you are.
No, we'll show, when you do the questions is where you put it. Right now, this is just the information about the quiz. We haven't done any questions yet.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Go ahead and put a thumbs up when you're ready. Once you have set all of your...
Michelle?
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I was going to give the right answer to this question about the IP address. We don't need to mess with that, correct?
Mm-hmm. Leave that one completely alone. Where'd my timer go? Oh, okay. There we go. One more minute. All right, looks like we're all almost ready. So we may not even actually need this timer this time. So I'm just going to pause it. With this big mouse, it does weird things. All right, so once we have clicked save, all we have done is set up the information about our quiz. We haven't added any questions to it yet. So now we want to add some questions. So in Canvas, anytime we want to edit anything, there's the pencil. We're going to click on the pencil to edit. So go ahead and click on the pencil, and there's some tabs here. We've got details, we've got questions, we've got mastery paths. So we're going to click on questions. Okay, so now once we've clicked on questions, right now I just want you guys to watch, and then you're going to go ahead and do it, okay? So just watch for right now. You're going to click new question. Anytime, don't worry about question groups for right now. We're just going to click new question, and up pops the question. So it defaults right away to multiple choice. This pull down menu is the types of questions that we can use. So now I'm going to type my question. What color is the sky? Now, this is where I can type in my answers. Now, I don't have to put A, B, C, or D. I just put in the answer. It will put a little circle. It's not going to give you A, B, C, or D. And if I put A, B, C, or D, when it mixes the answers up, they will be out of order. So make sure if you're copying and pasting or something, you don't have an A, B, C, or D. So I'm going to say blue, green, red, yellow. All right. And so then I click the arrow to my correct answer. And remember back in the day, we all had to figure out like, okay, I want to make sure that my answers don't go A, D, 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 A. I can put all of my correct answers in the first one, and Canvas is going to mix them up for me. So I don't have to worry about what order I put my answers in. As long as I click that shuffle answers, Canvas is going to mix those up for me. So then this is very, very, very important. You must, when I scroll down, you see I have update question and I have save. You click update question. And I will tell you that I still do this sometimes. When I was making the quiz for this training, I clicked save a bunch of times and had to go back and retype my question. You have to click update question or the question will not save. If you click save, it saves the quiz and does not save this question. So it's very, very, very important for you to click update question. So click update question. And now my question is gone here. All right, so I want you guys to go in and make a multiple choice question. I'm going to show you one more time how to do it. New question. In here, you're going to type the question. And your answer choices go here. Now, notice I put the correct answer as the second choice, so all I have to do then is move my green arrow. That's my correct answer. And I have to click update question. Very, very important. Update question. So click update question, and I'm good. All right, so I'm going to give you guys about 2 minutes to go ahead and make a multiple choice question. So remember, I'm going to save it. When you are on your quiz, you have to click edit first, then questions, and then you're going to get to your questions. All right, go ahead and make a multiple choice question. How about 2 minutes and 39 seconds? That'll be good. I don't know why I can't. There we go.
Michelle?
Yeah.
Someone asked, do their questions need to be numbered when
No.
they type them in?
No, they do not need to be numbered. The Canvas will number it for you. Ren, you can create a question bank, but that's a more advanced training. You can look in the Canvas guides on how to do question banks. You absolutely can do that, but we didn't want to touch on that today because we thought it would be a little bit too advanced. And go ahead and put a thumbs up in the chat when you have your multiple choice question created. Laura, you do not have to save after every question. You can just leave it open. So you can leave it right here. You don't have to go down here and click save. You can just leave it right here until you're done with a bunch of questions. Good question. So the next type of question, we're not going to go over every type of question because that would take us hours. So we're just going to go over a couple of different types of questions. The next one, we're thinking that, my thinking is trying to get the ones that are most common. Go ahead and we're going to look at a multiple answer question. So I'm going to click on new question. And this, again, is the pull down menu. I can get true, false, fill in the blank, fill in multiple blanks. All of these are the different types of questions that you can answer. So I'm going to choose a not multiple drop downs, where's multiple answer? Multiple answers, there it is. Couldn't find it there for a second. So multiple answers. So this is a question that has more than one answer. So of course I should have had these questions in my head before. What are the colors of the American flag? So red, I don't know why I capitalized that. Red, white, blue, and green. So all of those are correct answers. So the children would have to, you would have to check all three of those in order to get the correct answers. So I'm going to do the same thing. Again, remember to click multiple update question. One good question that someone had, I'm not sure if all of you guys heard, I click update question. I don't have to go click save and then edit every time. I can add a bunch of questions and then click save. All right, just make sure you don't click cancel, because if you click cancel, you're going to lose all your questions. The other thing that you can do, which I is if I wanted one question, if I wanted this to be worth 3 points, then if they got 2 of them correct but 1 of them wrong, then they could still get partial credit. So that is one thing that is really nice about classic quizzes, is in things like matching, where they have 5 answers in them. If you got partial credit on that, the matching in this does give partial credit. So if I had 5 matching questions, like in the practice quiz, if you got 2 right and 3 wrong, you still got partial credit. And that's one thing we're going to look at with new quizzes later. They don't have that. With their matching, if you get it wrong, you get the whole thing wrong. So that's one thing that's nicer in this quiz, is when you do matching or you do something like that, that you get, you do get partial credit. So you can change your point value of your quizzes. So if you want your quiz to equal 100 points, you can just change the answer, the point value, to make each question worth 10 or worth 12 or however many points you want your quiz to equal. You just can change your point value of each question. If you want, each question worth 5, but the essay question worth 10, then you can change that, and then that essay question is going to be worth more. You can add, this is a rich context editor, so you can add media. You can add a video, you can add audio, you can add web links, you can add anything that you can add with a rich context editor, you can add up here. You can add pictures. That's the way a lot of people really like to get, if you have a PDF of a quiz, or if you get it from Teachers Pay Teachers or something like that, you can just snip the question. I can just take a snip of it and upload it over here, and then I've got that question right there, and I type the answers in. So you can upload any pictures that you want in here, and then just type your answers in. So that is one way that you can get around like having to redo all of that. You can just put pictures in there. So I'm going to show you actually 2 questions, and then I'm going to let you guys practice both of them. So the other one that I wanted to show you is an essay question. And this is a great way for you to do like comprehension questions. If you have a comprehension worksheet or something like that, you read a story and they have to answer the questions at the end, or just anything written, is to do an essay question so that they can type the answers and turn them into you, and you can get the answers. So this would be an essay question. There's essay. So this is where you could just take the question, copy it straight down from the Wonders book or whatever, and paste the question right in there. So what was the main idea of the story? I don't know the name of the story, but whatever. What was the main idea of the story? And I could actually paste a story there if I wanted to, and then they have to type the main idea. So I'm going to click save on this. One thing that you do want to always check before you publish this and give it to your kids, you have a preview button. So you want to click preview and make sure your quiz looks the way that you want it to look, because sometimes, I've got it on 1 question each. So sometimes it may not be. And there's one thing that I just realized, I have it on 1 question. I probably don't want that, but that's okay. So here is, notice that these are round. That means 1 answer. And then these are square, which means there's more than 1 answer. Really better test would be there are more than 1 answer. I should put that in the stem. And then here's what an essay question looks like. It just has an HTML editor for the kids. So the kids could actually go ahead and do all that HTML stuff too. One thing for your littles, they can actually press this record button, and they can record themselves. They can record an audio, or they can actually, if they have the laptops, they can record with a webcam. So if you have, that's a great ESE modification too, or for you foreign language teachers, they can just use the mic and record their answer right here, and it will come to you as a recording, and you can listen to it. So that's a really great button right there, that record media. They can just put their answer right in there and speak their answer instead of typing it, if that's something that you want them to do. So that is an essay question. So I'm going to pause right here and let you guys add those 2 types of questions, a multiple answer or a essay question. So go ahead and click on your edit button. I have to get out of preview. Keep editing this quiz is how I get out of preview. So go ahead and go to questions and then add new question. You can do multiple answer or essay questions. So I'm going to give you guys about 3 minutes to do that also. Go ahead and put a thumbs up in the chat when you're ready to go on. Oh, some people are really quick. Thank you, Becky, for adding all those directions in there. That's really helpful.
You got it.
All right, so it looks like most of you guys are ready to go on, and I think everybody's gotten the 3 main types of quizzes. So we are going to, can you get that later? We are going to look at, these are all of the other types of questions, and I'm not going to spend time on every single one. I'm going to give you guys a little chance later to kind of explore them a little bit. And I also, again, want to show you the instructor guides. They changed it last night. It looks completely different than it did yesterday, but you used to be able to just kind of click to what you needed to go to. You can't do that anymore, but if you scroll down to quizzes, and this is a link in your agenda. If you scroll down to quizzes, they have everything. How do I create? So if you're wondering how to do any of those kinds of quizzes, you just click on how do I create a fill in the blank? How do I create a fill in the multiple blanks? How do I create a multiple answers? All of these are here, and they give you very simple step-by-step instructions. So all of this stuff is right here for you. So all of that, all of these are things to do with quizzes. So if you have any questions, we are of course here to help you, but you're going to find answers much quicker right here. So let's go back to our quiz. I am going to cancel this question. So we've got our questions. We've got our quiz created. So let's look at, some of you guys work with teams, and many of you want to know, how can I send a quiz to another teacher or to another class? So when we get all of your courses together, maybe you teach standard English and then advanced English. That doesn't mean you're not going to give them the same quiz. Sometimes you might give them the same quiz. So this is the chapter 4 quiz that I just made. When I click on this little, as Becky always calls it, skinny snowman, if I click on this snowman, skinny snowman, I can click on that. I have the options of delete, migrate, send to, and copy to. So copy to means within my own Canvas. I want to copy it to a different course. So I'm going to click copy to, and then I'm going to find my other courses. So my other courses are like, I have a Canvas demo course that I display. It's another one of my, I have like 87 sandbox courses. So one that I call Canvas demo. So here I'm going to click on that. I can even select which module I want to put it into. So I want to put it in Unit 2. Do I want to put it at the top, before something, after something, or at the bottom? I want to put it right at the top. So if I click on that and I click copy, that's going to put it right into my own Canvas course. So I can do that right there. Very simple. Now when I go into that Canvas demo course, that quiz is going to be right there. So now I don't have to retype the same quiz all over for my advanced course that I just did for my regular kids. So now the other option is, oh, went too far. Send to. So when I send to, I'm going to type in Carrie Wall. I'm going to click on her name, and I can send it to more than one person at the same time. Rebecca O'Donnell. I'm going to send it to her, and I just click send. All right, and then someone sent me something before. So what's going to happen is when Carrie and Becky open up their Canvas, they're going to see right in their account, they're going to see something there. So they can click on that in their account, and it says shared content. Oh, somebody shared something with me. Yay. So I'm going to click on shared content. Look, somebody, and I like that it's a little gift. Somebody gave me something. All right. Oh, Tammy sent me something today. Thank you, Tammy. So Tammy shared a video with me. So I can go, here's my actions. I'm going to click on actions. And then I can preview it and look at it, say, to decide if I want it. I can import it. So I'm going to import this. I can say, what is this course called? I don't remember what I'm in. I'll just do it into that Canvas demo again. Canvas demo. This is the course I want to put it in. I'm just going to leave it right there, since it's just going to go into quizzes. It's going to tell me it's a quiz, so that's where it's going to go. I click import. It's now going into my Canvas demo, and that's where it is. All right, so now that's how we can share with each other. All right, so you can share to yourself within another course, and you can share with other teachers. That's how you can share those things. All right. So you can do that with quizzes, you can do that with pages. The only thing you cannot do that with is an entire module. And you have to be, now I'll show you that if I'm in a module, actually in this course I don't think I have modules. If I'm in a module, I'm in the DTR, I can't share an entire module. There is not a share button for modules. You can't share an entire. Everything's really slow. Won't even show. There we go. You can't share an entire module. You can share it to Commons, and then you can import it, but you can't share a whole module. So that's the only thing you can't share it with. And you also can't send from a module. If this is a file practice, if this is a discussion, this is a quiz practice, I have to actually go into quizzes. See, this is quiz. Let me go actually down to here. Here's this classic examples quiz. I don't have a share button from here, but when I go into quizzes, I have to be in quizzes and then go to that classic quizzes, and from there I can send to or copy to. So you have to actually be in the quiz or in the file or in the assignment. You can't be in the module. All right, does anybody have any questions on that sharing? The one other item that is in the, which I hid my, it's not it, and it's hiding under there. In the agenda is a link I'm not going to go over this today because it would take way too long, but is a link that is how to import ExamView into Canvas. So if you are in a course that uses ExamView, this is step-by-step instructions on how to pull quizzes from ExamView into Canvas. So just so you know that that is there. Okay? So I am going to give you guys, looking at what time it is, it's only going to be about 5 minutes. But I'm going to give you guys 5 minutes to explore the other types of questions that are in there. You can kind of play around with them and look at the other types of questions that are in Canvas, okay? So just play around with them. You know, that's why we call it a sandbox course. If you mess up the question, it doesn't matter. You're not giving this quiz to anybody. So just play around with all of just look at, you're gonna go and do the same thing that you were doing before. So you're gonna go into, I have to go back to my dashboard. So you should still be in, everything is really slow all of a sudden. So you are in your quizzes, and you're in that quiz you've been working in. Here is that practice quiz. You're just going to click edit. You're going to click questions, and then you're going to go to new question. And just look at some of the other types of questions and see how they work. Okay, so you can go ahead and do that now. All right. So you've got 5 minutes.
Michelle, we've got a good question here that maybe you can show or help with. When they are doing a fill in the blank with students spelling something incorrectly, do you have any advice with how to handle that type of question?
You can moderate it and go back and change it. When you do the fill in the blank, you can put suggested, like how you think they're going to spell it and how you can, ones that you would expect. But they're going to spell it wrong and it's going to mark it wrong. I mean, that's just, I mean, you can do fill in the blank. My suggestion is to not use it. Honestly, I've seen a lot of, I mean, it's there and it's possible, but if you want to fill in the blank question, I would do it as an essay question and go back and hand grade it. Or you can go back. There is a way we can, I didn't touch on moderating quizzes today because I didn't want to make your heads explode, but you can go back and in SpeedGrader, you can, if it marked it wrong, you can override it and mark it right. But that's a lot of work to override. I would personally just avoid the fill in the blank because spelling is just a nightmare. One of the things you could do the drop downs and maybe make different choices of the drop downs. That might be a better way to do it. If you do the multiple drop downs, then they click on it and there's a choice, like a bank of words. That's a different way to do it maybe. Yes, on multiple answers, students get partial credit. If you give them more than one, you have to give it like 3 points. However many choices there are, you have to give it 3 points. If there's 3 blanks, then you give it 3 points. Katie, I don't know if the only ones that I ever say avoid are fill in the blank. Additional match possibilities and distractors are if you have, say, 5 definitions, but you wanted 7 words to distract them. Sometimes they have extra words at the bottom that don't actually match, and that's just extra distractors so that, you know, the kids aren't going to know that, okay, I've used all 5 words. Sometimes people like to do that. I think it's kind of mean, but some people do, you know, then you really have to know the words because maybe all the words aren't used. Okay, so one thing that just occurred to me is that we did not take a look at the grade book. So now that you guys have had a chance to look at this, I'm going to take a minute and look at the grade book. So we can look at the grade book, and there's a ton of activities in here. So you can view your activity. I can filter. I'm in the wrong one. I got to go into the DTR, and I'm going to look at that grade book. So I can look at all of my sections at once, or I can look at just specific periods. I can also filter by modules or sections if I want to. So I am now looking at sections. I now want to look at just the back to school. So here is the quiz that we took. Okay, so this is showing the grades. Actually, it's not gonna, because I didn't actually grade yours, it's not showing all of the grades there, but I can, one of the other things that you can do, if you click on this, you can sort by grade level, grade high to low. So if you're looking and seeing who got the highest grade and who got the lowest grade, here we go. This will also show us who took it and who didn't take it. So you can look at blanks. You can, everything is all of a sudden really slow. Curve the grades. So if you wanted to curve them, you could do that. You can set a default grade, enter grades as points or percentages. So we can change this to look at the percentage, and we can look at all that. So that's just one thing with the grade book that I wanted to show you. I just realized we forgot to look at the grade book. So that is the grade book. And one thing that you want to make sure that your students understand is that their grade book in Canvas is not their regular grade book, because that's only their Canvas assignments. If you're giving them other assignments, that's not included in Canvas. So they might see that they have an A in Canvas, but they have a C on Focus. So a lot of teachers actually choose to hide the grade book from the kids so that they can't click on grades, because then they're not going to go home and say, but it said I had an A, because that's not their true grade book. All right. So do we have any questions about quizzes, right? Classic quizzes before we go on?
Yes, just a quick, I don't know if you get a chance towards the end, can you share some maybe test security tips or ways that they can, with the transitional model within quizzes?
I can try. We don't have much, but yes, we can try. We can talk about test security towards the end. But I mean, especially when they're at home, there's not a whole lot that you can do. I mean, there really isn't, but we can try. We'll talk about that at the end. All right, so now we're not going to spend a lot of time on new quizzes because it's already 2:25 and I want to get to new quizzes and rubrics. So mainly what we're going to do with new quizzes is I just want you to look at the difference between a classic quiz and a new quiz. So I want you to go back to that main page. So if you can go back to your home, you can just click on your dashboard. So if you click on your dashboard, and then into the digital teacher resources and into the back to school, and then get to our main page here for quizzes and rubrics. And then I want you to click on new quizzes example quiz. Right next to the classic, I want you to click on new quizzes. So this is how you can see the difference from the student side of what they see. So click on new quizzes. It's going to open up. Honestly, I forget what you see from the student side. So let's see, click preview. You're going to see this. It's going to tell you. So just go ahead and start. I think you have to click next or something. Just go ahead and take this quiz. Again, do not read anything. I'm going to give you guys actually like 2 minutes to take this quiz because we need to. So just go through and randomly answer questions. All right, and then thumbs up in the chat when you're ready.
Michelle,
Mm-hmm.
sorry, full of questions over here right now. I don't know the answer to this. That's why I want to ask you to make sure. Can the quiz be translated to Spanish from English without typing in a Spanish quiz? I don't think they can be translated, can it?
I'm wondering, I don't know if quizzes yet has the, I have to get out of student mode. Am I in student mode in this? Let's go back. I didn't want to press that. I meant to press back. I don't know if quizzes has the immersive reader yet. That's not published, but preview. We'd have to check from the student side, but I don't know if immersive reader is available in that yet. It doesn't appear to be. Let me publish this and then go to student view. All right, guys, so go ahead. That's a new quiz, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to have to look into that. I don't believe so. Immersive Reader is available through a lot of Canvas, but I'm not sure if it's available in the quizzes yet. All right, so hopefully most of you guys are through that quiz. What I did for this quiz was I did what they call a migrate. So I migrated my old quiz into this quiz. So you can see the questions. A lot of the questions are the same. They look a little bit different. And again, when people say, which is better? It's all preference. The one thing is this one has a few more types of questions. So, and the one thing that I found a lot of teachers like better is this type of question. This is called the stimulus question. So this is a stimulus question. You have the story on the left and the questions that go with the stimulus on the right. So I don't have to go up and down with my story to read it. And this emulates the FSA a little bit more for the higher levels that take it on the computer, where the story is on the left side and the questions are on the right. So this scroll is for all of the questions that go with that story. So you could even paste two selections within here, and then all of the questions that go with it go along here. So that is the biggest plus that I would say within new quizzes, is that stimulus question. These are all the same. This is a different one that you have, is this where you can drag this. These quizzes, I think, are a little bit more primary friendly. So there is one thing too, you can click and drag things to categorize them, and then you can put things in order. Now these ones, any of these that have more than one, if you get one wrong here, it marks the whole thing wrong. Same thing down here. If I got one wrong, it's going to mark this entire question wrong. So that's where it is flawed, and we have we have sent into Canvas a lot, but they have not fixed that yet. So that is the biggest drawback that I see with new quizzes, is that if you have anything that has more than one, like this, if I get 4 of them right and 1 of them wrong, it's marking the whole question wrong. So that's the biggest drawback with new quizzes. But I know a lot of people really like, especially like ELA teachers and primary teachers, like this part a lot. So I'm going to exit the preview. And really, I am only going to show you a little bit of new quizzes because I really want to get to rubrics. So I'm going to click return. You can, and I will show you how. Let me go ahead and go to SpeedGrader. You can use SpeedGrader, but it's really weird the way you get to it. You have to go to the gradebook. Then here is my new quizzes. I click on it, and then you see this little arrow. I click on that arrow, and then it says SpeedGrader. That's the only way to get to SpeedGrader for a new quiz. That's just the strangest way. I don't know why they won't put SpeedGrader just on the quiz, but that's how you get there. So you click on, so you go to one of the kids that has taken it, you click on their score, you click the arrow, this pops up, and then you click SpeedGrader. And then when I get to SpeedGrader, then the quiz is going to come here. And I can go in here and I can, okay, she got this. I can click here. I can just click check if she got it right, or if it's worth a certain amount of points, I can press the number in there. All right, and then I just click update, and that gives her the grade. So that's how I can go ahead and check that. So that's how you get to SpeedGrader. It's a very roundabout way to get there, but you can get there. It's just, I don't know why they don't just put a SpeedGrader button. It's dumb, but that's the way it is. All right, so with new quizzes, to create, and it's weird because they put them in assignments. You can create it through quizzes, but then it goes into the assignments button. So I am going to get back to my, I don't know why that, all right. So $235. We've got to, I'm only going to show you one small part of this because we definitely want to get to rubrics. So to do a new quiz, you're going to go quizzes, add a quiz. This time you would pick new quizzes and then submit. Everything else that you do is the same. You say new quizzes, sample. It's going to be worth 100 points. Keep it in assignments group, keep all this. Do not touch this submission type. It has to stay external tool like that. Leave all that. You can decide how many, if you want unlimited or limited, it defaults to unlimited. You can change that. All of that stuff, same due date and everything. I'm just going to leave that blank. So we click save. We did that before. We don't need to go over that again. So I'm going to click save. Now this is where it's really pretty different. Once I click save, it makes you add a due date when you have the sync to sys on. But if you uncheck that sync to sys, it won't make you have a due date. So then it opens up this quiz builder, and this is where it's different. So new quizzes sample, I would type my instructions here, instructions, and I click done, and then I click the plus sign. So the only thing I'm going to show you guys today is stimulus. Honestly, if you figured out the other quizzes, you can figure this one out. It just takes playing. You can figure out any of those other questions if you figured out the other ones. So you would just click plus, you would just click this. The biggest difference is the stimulus, and that's where you have a story on the left and the questions on the right. So I'm going to click stimulus, and here's the title of my story. So I'm just going to put story, and I'll say read the story to answer questions 1 through 3. And then here's my story. So this is a story about dogs. Blah, 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 blah. So there's my story. This is the story they're going to read. If you would like to put a URL, it's not visible to students, just so that you know you can do that. So once your story is over here, you're going to add stimulus. Notice this is a rich context editor. So I can add a video, I can add a picture, I can add a table, I can add all that stuff that I want to. You can put a video, anything like that. So I'm going to click add stimulus. Now once I've added that stimulus, I'm going to attach questions. I don't click the plus button again because that's going to start something new. These are the questions that are attached to this stimulus. So attach, and I can pick any of those types of questions. Most of the time you're going to have like a multiple choice or a multiple answer. Multiple choice. The dog is nice. I don't even know. Whatever. Or what color is the dog? Let's go with color since that's what... brown, yellow, white. And then if you don't want these, you have to delete them. And the other thing that's different about this is if I want my choices shuffled, I have to click that in each question. All right, so I have to click shuffle choices. Decide how many points it is, and I click done. So this is with this. Now I have question 2. I'm going to attach a true-false question. Right, where is, do I not? True-false. The dog was cute. True, sure. Done. Oh, I put the stem in there. You can leave that question title blank. Why does it have a link in there? So there we go. The dog was cute. I do not want to shuffle anything on that. There we go. And so now all of these questions are attached to the story. Then if I wanted to have on the same quiz a completely different set of questions, I just click the plus down here. And then I can start a whole new question. Now I'm just going to do a regular multiple choice question. We'll go back with our good old what color is the sky? I keep adding it in the wrong place. And again, here you have to be careful because if you have to shuffle every question, it doesn't automatically do it for you. So you have to click shuffle on every question. Done. All right, so here is my quiz, and it shows you automatically what the quiz looks like. All right, so I am going to give you guys like 3 minutes. I know it's not much time, but just to look at new quizzes because we have to get on to rubrics, okay? So go ahead and I'll give you 3 minutes to look at new quizzes. I know it's not enough time, but I don't want to skip rubrics altogether. So 3 minutes to just take a look at new quizzes. So go ahead and try to create just a question or two. All right, and new quizzes. All right, and once you figured out the classic quizzes, new quizzes are really pretty easy. All right, so go ahead and create a new quiz.
Michelle, because I haven't played around with new quizzes too much, but what is hotspot?
Hotspot was the question where I had you click on Florida. So you put a picture and you have to click on it. So that's what a hotspot is. So a hotspot question is a picture and then you click on the picture where it is. So it'd be really kind of cool for science. So, click on the nucleus or click on the whatever, or, that kind of thing. So it's any kind of picture, right? Great in anatomy. So you click on, it's a picture and then you just have to click where it is.
Awesome. Thank you.
Stella, that you're really not, they're not really intended to be printed. So quizzes really, I know and we again have sent into them that it really needs to be printed, but the best way we found to print it is to go ahead and do the preview and then right click and click print. Right, print the screen. So if you right click and click print, and sometimes it just prints each screen individually. So that's just the way that it goes. Canvas is very big on it being, see, it only prints the one page. And so you kind of have to print each page individually. It's not an easy thing to do. So you just have to print each screen. So scroll through, print each screen. And for those of you guys that were asking about the hotspot, this click on Florida, that was a hotspot question. Those are the ones that were really different. The categorization questions, the ordering, and the hotspot. You can see I drew a square. When you do a hotspot, you upload a picture and then you draw a square around where you want it. So this is the teacher side of the hotspot question. like I said, I know that was not enough time to really look at new quizzes like we should, but I do want to get to rubrics, because rubrics are going to be really important for distance learning, and you're going to love them when you see them. So rubrics, we all have used rubrics forever, and they make it really easy to grade things within Canvas. So when I go to, I might not even have you guys do the assignment because it's so late. So when we go into the assignment, I had an assignment, the last assignment was going to be, but we're already at 2:46, so I don't even know that we're going to do it, was to have you answer this question, click on the submit button in the right corner, and to tell me just a sentence about yourself, okay? And then when you do that, here's a rubric. So you can enter any kind of rubric. You can create your own rubrics. You can get them from, we've put a couple of them in Commons. So you can create your own rubrics. This is a rubric that goes with this sentence writing rubric. Capitalization, punctuation, grammar, content ideas, and spelling. So this is what each one of them looks like. And if I was going to go in to SpeedGrader with this activity, if we had time and you guys had finished it. We were running a little bit behind, but that's okay. We just want to make sure that each one of you, if I click on View Rubric, so this is what the really great thing about this is that as I'm grading these, I can read this sentence that this person wrote. I can look at the description. Student uses capital letters in sentences and names. Student uses accurate punctuation. Student uses subject verb. So as I am looking at this, I can decide what do they get 4 points, 3 points, 4, 3, whatever. I just go through and click on what they got. As I go through and click on it, when I'm done, I just click submit. That's all I have to do. I can click right on the rubric and click save, and it automatically gives her that many points. Gives her 19. It should. If I click submit, gives her 18 points. Usually it goes right up there. Sometimes you have to type it in. So it automatically gives her those 18 points, and then she can go in and see that she got 18 points and why. If I wanted to write a comment there, I could write a comment to why she lost those 2 points on punctuation and content. So you can, a lot of you use these on your grading as it is, so Canvas makes it really, really easy for you to use the rubrics and grading. When you click on them, it just goes right in for you, and you click submit. So let's look at how you get those rubrics. You can create them on your own, or you can get them from Commons. We have put a couple of them into Commons. So let me get back. I have to get out of my new quiz. I am not in. I'll get out of SpeedGrader there. I don't think I'm in the right. Here we go. This is where I want to be. All right. So when you're going to create an assignment, and you can do it in a quiz, you can do it in an assignment, you can do it anywhere. So when I'm going to create a new assignment, I'm in assignments. I click add assignment. Now remember, assignment is something that they're going to turn in to you. So BTS 2020 rubric assignment. I'd create the whole assignment. Let's take the due date off. Once I've created the whole assignment, you see this little plus rubric down here? I've got plus rubric. I can create my own rubric, or there's this find a rubric button here. If I have a rubric already in one of my other courses, I can just go and find it. So here are all of the rubrics that I've used in my other courses. So if I have downloaded a rubric, or if I have a rubric somewhere else, these are all the rubrics I have from everything else that I've done. So I can create my own, or I can find it. Nicole has asked a question, can the students see it? Yes, when they look at the assignment, the rubric is right there on the bottom. So they will know how they are going to be graded. And then when they look at their comments, they will see what they received in the rubric. So let's look at, so to create one, I just click edit. I type the name of the criterion. So my criterion would be completeness. Let's say capitalization. And I click update criterion. And then this is where I can go and say, do I want to say 5 points, 0 points, whatever I want it to be. I can edit that. I want my most points to be 4, and I want that to say excellent. Used all punctuation rules correctly. Update. And then if I want to add a 3, I just click on the plus and look at, you can just do a 2 in the middle. You know, you can add as many as you want. I didn't save, but update. 2 would be good. And then you don't have to have a description if you don't want to. And 0. So they can have a range of 4, 2, or 0. And you can click on those. All right. I'm going to show you the ones that we have already made. So if we go into Commons, and if you search SDIRC rubric, these are 4 of them that we have already created for you. We've got a generic online project rubric. These are the 2 rubrics directly from the FSA. So if I click on this, this is exactly what from the FSA. So this is already in here for you. So if you teach ELA, that would be really great to have, the informative and the argumentation based. This was the writing rubric that we just had. So this sample writing rubric is this one that I just was using for the one that we looked at. And then we put in a sample, just a generic online project rubric. So this one just content, organization, attractiveness, originality, and requirements. So if you like those, all you have to do is import and then tell it which class to go into. So this is, I'm going to put it into my Canvas demo. And it's actually going to import as an assignment, but once it is in your course, then you can search for it. So once I've downloaded it, once it's in my course, when I go back and it's in my assignments, as long as that assignment's in there, there's nothing to do in that assignment. It's just the rubric. Once that assignment's there, when I click plus rubric and I click find a rubric, I'll be able to find that one. So I just put it in here. So here's that informative writing. Here's a sentence writing rubric that we were just looking at. So we have lots of rubrics in different places here. So you can look at your course. All of your courses are going to be there, so you can download those, the rubrics there. All right. So we only have about 5 minutes left, and I apologize that we ran over a little bit, but you can take the next 3 minutes to look at the rubrics in Commons and look at how to do those, and you can download those and add it to an assignment. So again, you just have to create a new assignment and then click find rubric and it will be there. So you can just go to Commons, download one of them, and then add a rubric. All right. I know that was really quick and I apologize, but go ahead and try that now. And Becky, can you go ahead and throw that feedback link in there in case people have to go?
I'm doing it right as you speak.
Yeah, it helps if I press play. The feedback link doesn't work. If the feedback from the Canvas doesn't work, then I have to go back and that's not good. Maybe I pasted the wrong link. Let me look. Let me check something really quick here.
It's showing fine for me because I've got it open.
You've got it open? Okay. Maybe she just clicked on the wrong one.
And the settings have it open. Today's the 7th. Yeah. Ooh, you know, I'm going to change one thing right here for the timing that it's open. That could be why. Okay.
Oh, that's right. You have it in the edit. So good. Thank you.
Yeah. It should be working now. Okay, guys. There you go. It would help if I press send on my message.
Yeah, it opens. And someone needs the attendance link again.
Somehow the feedback, they said this form is currently not accepting responses.
He just needs to refresh the screen because it's working now.
Just refresh your screen, Dr. Hannah, and then it should work fine. We had to make one little adjustment and it should be working fine. Pamela, it saves automatically. It's in your course. So when you go back to add it, you just have to, when you click add, it will be there. So you just have to click on that course that you're in and then it'll be there. You don't have to save it any other way. Thank you, Katie. It is just about 3 o'clock as this thing. So if you are welcome to go. I'm going to stay around for questions. This is the ending time. So if you have any more questions, feel free to stay and ask. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. Go home and relax. Hopefully, we helped you guys with Canvas this week, and we know it's a lot of information. So just relax as much as you can, and we'll tackle it again next week. You can go back to this, may be updated. our homepage, which of course I've got 87 things open, so I can't seem to get to it. But if you go to the digital teacher resource, which is now in all of your Canvas, hopefully, if you go to the digital teacher resource and you click on back to school, we may have some additional trainings planned for this week and for next week. So just keep looking here and you will see this is where all of our trainings, this is not for curriculum instruction, but this is for just all of the Canvas trainings and other tech trainings will be posted right here. So if you check this, all of the meetings links, everything will come straight from here. So just keep looking there. If you want to repeat a training or any of the videos, they will all be up here. So if you have any questions, please email us. And thank you for coming, but I'll stick around for any questions if you still have questions. All right. So once you download the rubric, okay, how do you add it to your assignment? Okay, so I've got my assignment. I'm going to add a new assignment. So I'm just going to call this rubric assignment. And I would give my whole assignment directions here. Here's my assignment directions. Directions right. So here's my assignment. I've got all that done and I click save. Once I click save, oh, I don't want external URL. I want an online text entry file upload. All right, so I'm going to click save. Once I have done that, on this page, right down here, there's a plus rubric button. When I click that plus rubric, now I can create my own, or I can find a rubric. So when I find a rubric, if I click find a rubric, then I should be able to find that one that I downloaded. So if I go into here and I want that text-based writing rubric, that's what this is. So I'm going to click on that. I'm going to click use this rubric. So that's the rubric. The kids will see the rubric, and then when you go into grade it, you will have this rubric too. Does that answer your question? It's way up, so I'm not sure whose question it was.
Yes, thank you.
Got it. Stella, yes, the assignment does have a quiz has the option to average the 2 or more attempts. So when you put that quiz in, you just have to choose. Where's quizzes?
I put it in the chat for her too.
Oh, you got
a couple times, so she does have it. Yeah.
All right.
And then there was one real quick, Michelle, about Edgenuity and the trainings. Can you just cover what kind of trainings that we'll offer versus PD?
Okay.
Or where you can find our trainings?
Our trainings are pretty much all, right now, for what we know, are all on Canvas. There was a meeting this afternoon where some of that might change, but all of our trainings that our instructional technology department is on Canvas. The ones through Edgenuity, all of those are through curriculum and instruction, and you probably have to go on Frontline, or there was a email that should have been sent out from maybe your APs that had a list of those trainings. We do not have those trainings.
If you want to go ahead and then show them how they can access your agenda, because the agenda has a lot of really great links on there that will be helpful.
Yeah. So when you go into Canvas quizzes and rubrics, you just click on today's agenda, and especially that stuff at the end that I didn't quite explain like I would have liked to, especially the rubrics. that's all down here. So all of these blue lines are links to things that can help you. Anita, showing a quick rubric again. Something is going wrong when you were making one. So when you choose the rubric, instead of making one, you want to click Find One. If you click Find, then you should be able to, if you got one from Commons, you should be able to find that. Sure, I will show you how to get to the agenda again. So when you start from this page, quizzes and rubrics, and then on the page, it just says today's agenda. All right. You have a great weekend too, Allison. So cute. All right, guys, it looks like nobody else has any other questions. We're going to get going. Last call for questions. All right, sounds good. So everybody have a wonderful weekend. Try to relax, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.